Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome into the show. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you, and this is a channel where we talk all things Niners every single day. Coming up here on the show, could the Niners make some major lineup changes here in 2025? We're going to take a look at all three phases for San Francisco going into this upcoming season. Let's begin with this, though. If you're a diehard Niners fan, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If you're a newer Niner fan, I want you to let me know, by year, when did your fandom start? Let me know down in the comment section right now. What an offseason it's been for the 49ers coming off that 6-11 dreadful 2024 campaign. The Niners have been very busy. Hired Robert Saleh to bring him back as the defensive coordinator. Hired Brant Boyer, who followed Saleh from the Jets to San Francisco to replace Brian Schneider as the special teams coordinator. San Francisco also let several marquee starters walk in NFL free agency, and really all of those players got paid some big-time dollars in free agency. The Niners in the draft remade their defense, and in free agency really rebuilt their special teams unit as well. The 49ers have added 18 rookies to their team when you combine this draft class with UDFAs, and then over the last few weeks since the draft, San Francisco has handed out a lot of cash. Paid Brock Purdy. Made him the highest paid Niner in the history of this organization. Made George Kittle the highest paid tight end in the history of the National Football League. And Fred Warner the highest paid off-ball linebacker in the NFL right now as well. And so really a lot of these changes that we're going to see are going to be on the defensive side of the ball. And Robert Saleh will have his work cut out for him in 2025. So too, though, will Brant Boyer. Saleh is taking over for Nick Sorensen, who was a terrible defensive coordinator last year. Boyer is taking over for Brian Schneider, who was an awful special teams coordinator. And so both of these coordinators, Saleh and Boyer, are really having to remake their units and lift them up production-wise from being some of the worst units in football a season ago in 2024, and a big reason why the Niners went 6-11 when they entered the year as Super Bowl favorites, coming off that Super Bowl defeat at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. On defense, you think about some of the notable players who have left, who the Niners let go. They cut Leonard Floyd. He signed with the Atlanta Falcons. They cut Malik Collins. He signed with the Cleveland Browns. They cut Javon Hargrave. He inked a deal with the Minnesota Vikings. Dre Greenlaw also got a bag, but from the Denver Broncos. Charvarius Ward got $20 million per year. He's with the Indianapolis Colts. And Talanoa Hufanga, he got paid by the Denver Broncos. All of those players cashing in with some big-time checks with their respective teams, which goes to show you how talented the Niners have been, how much talent they're losing, and how other teams have viewed San Francisco with the personnel that they've had on their rosters over the last few years. But with those defenders specifically, that is a lot of snaps gone. All of those players who I just mentioned, starters for this team. And all of them really outside of Hargrave, who got hurt, and Ward, who was in and out of the lineup because of that family tragedy, and Talanoa Hufanga, who was also hurt. Dre Greenlaw, too. They were hurt, causing them to miss games. In Ward's case, missing time because of family reasons. Those other players, though, they were playing a ton of snaps for San Francisco. And this is also why the Niners needed to, and I mean absolutely needed to, hit on this draft class in the 2025 NFL Draft. And that's why the Niners had the approach, the strategy, and the thoughts that they did with addressing their defense. They wanted to get younger, check. They wanted to get more athletic, check. They wanted to rebuild and remake their defense, check. They wanted to fix what has been a bad run defense, check. And so you're going to see a lineup in 2025 that is much different than the one that we saw in 2024 and in years prior. There is a realistic chance that you could see three rookies start along this defensive line alongside Nick Bosa. Mykel Williams at defensive end, C.J. West at defensive tackle, and Alfred Collins at defensive tackle. All of these players have really intriguing athletic traits. I think their bodies are NFL ready. All of them very experienced, playing at a very high level throughout their respective college football careers. And I think they're all good scheme fits for what Robert Saleh and the Niners want to do. Then you flip the page to the linebacker spot. D. Winters and Nick Martin will be starting outside of Fred Warner, most likely, right? Nick Martin's going to have to win that job. D. Winters is going to have to win that job. But that's a linebacker room from last year to this year, outside of the mainstay in Warner, best off-ball linebacker in the NFL, that is also going to look a lot different and oversee a big change from a year ago to 2025. And then at corner, this is a fifth rookie here that has an opportunity to start on this defense. And I do think that with really quality coaching from Saleh, him being aggressive, implementing some changes within that defense, new concepts, keeping things fresh. I know that the learning curve and the thought of starting 5 rookies is like, wow, they're going to be awful. I just think with better coaching combined with the talent of those players and the experience that they had at the college level, it could be more of a seamless transition than what a lot of people think. There's also another opportunity for a guy like Marquise Siegel, who the Niners took out of Kansas State, who was a North Dakota State transfer. There's an opportunity for him to start at the safety position. Runs 4.3. He can play safety. He can play nickel, slot, corner. You can use him all around the field. And with that injury to Malik Mustafa, Jair Brown is going to start. But Marquise Siegel, Richie Grant, and Jason Pinnock will be competing for that other safety spot. Ladies and gentlemen, that's only the defensive side of the ball. We got a lot more to get to here, but first, today's poll question is this: which defense will be better? Last year's defense, not saying much, or the 2025 defense? And will this 2025 defense be better than last year's unit? Type B for better, W for worse. Join the debate and the conversation down in the comment section right now. Before we continue to push forward, what a fantastic deal that I want to tell you about. Thanks to our friends at Fanatics. We've been telling you about all of those Niners jerseys, and so many of you have purchased those. But how about this shirt? Faithful to the Bay. On sale for just $18. That's about 50% off from what it was. All you have to do, it's very simple. Use that link down below, chatsports.com/faithful. It'll take you to Fanatics. Fanatics will know that ChatSports sent you. Hop on this deal. Limited time only. To the offensive side of the ball, what offensive changes and battles could we see? Well, who's going to be running back 2? Christian McCaffrey will be the starter. The word out of Santa Clara right now is that he's looked great and healthy this offseason. That's huge for the Niners. A lot of their success in 2025 hinges on McCaffrey being upright on the field and healthy because he's one of the top overall football players in the National Football League. But RB2, who will get those secondary carries? Will it be second-year running back Isaac Brendel? 220 pounds, 4.3 speed. We saw the home run ability last year, but soft tissue injury is a little bit of a concern. His vision and his patience last year was a little bit hit and miss. I think that's more so due to the fact that he didn't play a lot of football in college. One college start in his collegiate career. Keep in mind, the Niners did draft Jauan Jennings out of Oregon in the 5th round, and he is a prototypical Kyle Shanahan, Bobby Turner back. But Jordan Mason is gone. And so the carries with McCaffrey back and Guerendo having a bigger role and Jordan James being in the mix, that's another lineup change here for San Francisco. Number 2, the wide receiver situation is going to be interesting. We have no idea when Brandon Aiyuk is going to come back. And really, we haven't had a lot of updates this offseason despite us doing our own work in trying to look at Aiyuk footage from his wedding and how he's moving around. How the quad definition looks through a leg sleeve during the Niners golf outing a few weeks ago. Looks to be in good shape, moving around pretty well, but he tore multiple ligaments inside his knee, and so he could start the year on PUP. If he does, Ricky Pearsall, Jauan Jennings battling it out for the wide receiver 1 role. And then outside of that, Brock Purdy said Jacob Cowing has had an awesome offseason. Demarcus Robinson, a tenured vet in the National Football League. Jordan Watkins taken in the 4th round. He has 4.3 speed. Tariq Owens, Isaiah Hodgins, Isaiah Nayer, Junior Bergen also going to be in the mix there. Don't forget about a guy like Russell Gage, who's been around the NFL for a long time, and Trent Taylor, one of George Kittle's best friends. Number 3, who will start at left guard for the Niners? Trent Williams is penciled in at left tackle. I think Jake Brendel kind of penciled in there at center, unfortunately. At right guard, it'll be the stud, Dominick Puni. At right tackle, Colton McKivitz going into the final year of his deal. But at left guard, there will be a competition between Ben Bartch, Nick Sakel, Spencer Burford, and I'm going to throw in Connor Colby, who started more than 50 games at Iowa. Chris Forster, offensive line coach, really likes him. He's a really good scheme fit. I like his size, his athleticism, and his relative athletic score. It was well over 9. The new tight end, too, will have a role with this offense in 2025. The Niners sorely missed a blocking tight end last year who could actually block. Eric Sauber didn't do it well. Braden Willis couldn't really impress people as far as his blocking. I think he's more of a special teams guy. But the Niners gave some decent coin to Luke Farrell. The contract is not as crazy as what we thought it was originally once those official details came out. But George Kittle, best all-around tight end in the game. He's been so terrific of late, especially alongside Brock Purdy. Once again, an All-Pro last year, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He is your dynamic weapon at the tight end spot. And with Deebo Samuel gone, with questions at wide receiver, I expect the pass game to really go through Kittle mostly. So tight end, too, going to be important. And Luke Farrell, one of the top blocking tight ends in the game. Hopefully, he can contribute in the pass game, too, because it just gives the defense something else to think about. And then the Niners brought in Ross Dwelley, who's a pretty damn good tight end 3 for what the Niners want at that position as a backup in Kyle Shanahan's offense. And then at number 5, Brock Purdy's going to have a new backup. We don't have to worry about Brandon Allen starting a game. Can you believe that Brandon Allen started a game last year for San Francisco? Terrible. It's a joke. Joshua Dobbs should have started that Packers game. Joshua Dobbs started the Week 18 finale. You could make the argument Mac Jones is a better backup than both Brandon Allen and Joshua Dobbs. I know Dobbs has more mobility. I know at times he's popped. But I'm excited to see what Mac Jones can do under Kyle Shanahan, a quarterback who Shanahan is a big fan of, has been a big fan of. I think Mac Jones is a good scheme fit for what Shanahan asks of the position to play point guard. That bodes well for Jones because that's what he did at Alabama. And keep in mind, his offensive surrounding parts, coaching staffs, the foundation for him, it's been a disaster for him to start his career with New England and with Jacksonville. So some major lineup changes in store for San Francisco in 2025. On top of covering the Niners here on YouTube, so much Niners content on my social media pages as well. It never stops. At Chase_Senior on X and Instagram. Give me a follow and a shout over there.